Hello beautiful internet family, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today I've got my full review of the Mini SE from DJI. Now this drone is basically a rebranded Mavic Mini. I've released a few other videos on the Mini SE, so check those out on the channel as well. But this drone itself was released like just over a month ago now at the time of me filming this video, and it really is just a Mavic Mini, slightly rebranded. It's got, very, very minute changes. Basically, it's got different batteries. It's got the batteries of the Mini 2, same charging hub as the Mini 2, and it's also got the same wind resistance as the Mini 2 as well. But besides that, it's literally just a Mavic Mini in the body of the Mini 2. It doesn't have the 4K camera, it doesn't have the changed controller or the improved range or anything like that, but it does have the body of the Mini 2. So you get these grills at the front here that allow for more airflow. You've also got stronger arms compared to the original Mavic Mini. And like I mentioned, it's got that improved wind resistance as well. So that's the biggest thing that I have definitely noticed with the Mini SE. The wind resistance is a must-have compared to the original Mavic Mini. The Mini SE controller is identical to the Mavic Mini controller. There's no difference there. It's still got the 4-kilometer range. It doesn't have the improved range like in the Mini 2 model. It's literally the same controller, no difference at all. I didn't notice any changes when it came to the controller itself and the range I was getting out of it. I did notice though that with my original Mavic Mini, as you let go of the controller inputs, it would trail. It would kind of keep moving. And the Mini SE doesn't have that issue at all. So for me, that's a major win for the Mini SE. And on top of that as well, it has that improved wind resistance that matches the Mini 2's wind resistance. So that is a major tick. On top of that, it's also slightly cheaper than the original Mavic Mini. So it's already got a few things over the Mavic Mini and it's cheaper. So I guess that kind of answers that question. If you're in the market for a mini drone, the Mini SE is significantly better than the Mavic Mini, just due to the fact that it's cheaper and it has improved body design. It also has improved wind resistance, and it's just overall, why would you not buy something that's slightly better and cheaper? So yeah, that answers that question. When I originally started making videos on the Mini SE just over a month ago now, it wasn't actually available to the rest of the world. It was only available in select countries, which was odd to me, seeing as it's, like I said just before, cheaper and better than the original Mavic Mini. I was surprised. It's a whole rebranded drone that would sell really well to new people getting into the drone space, but for whatever reason it just didn't have any sort of marketing budget. It didn't even really get promoted by DJI at all. But recently, it's become available to a few other countries, including the US, which is obviously a large target for DJI. So that's really exciting. So I will actually have a link in the description below to check out the Mini SE on Amazon if you want to check that out. I also have a link to check it out on the D1 store as well. So check that out if you're in Australia. They're a fantastic company. So I think overall, it's that answers that question. If you're brand new into the drone space and you want to get a drone, the Mini SE is your go-to drone. 100%, no questions in my mind. This is the perfect budget drone of 2021. One of the biggest calling cards for the Mini drone series is the fact that it's under 250 grams. And that means that a lot of people in different countries can use this drone without having to worry about the scrutiny of drone laws and regulations. Now, still fly your drone safely and carefully, but this is kind of technically classed as a toy drone because it's under that 250 gram mark. This is 249 grams. So that doesn't change compared to, other larger drones that are on the market. This is the same as the Mini 2 and the Mavic Mini. It's under 250 grams, and that's why this has so much appeal to people all over the world. That's why it's the best portable mini drone on the market. That's one of its biggest calling cards. It's also got a 30-minute flight time, which is insane. So if you buy the Fly More combo, you're easily getting over an hour of flight time. I would say an hour and a half, but that's just unrealistic. You're not getting 30 minutes per battery. You may be getting 25 minutes per battery, but at least you're getting over an hour of flight time with the Fly More combo. It's a great deal, extremely capable, and that 2.7K camera is actually great. You know, like most people are gonna be wrapped with it. They're gonna be extremely happy with what they can get out of the Mini SE and also the Mavic Mini. If you've originally got the Mavic Mini, there's no need to upgrade to the Mini SE at all. You might as well get the Mini 2 or something better again. But if you've got the original Mavic Mini, it's still everything you need in a mini drone. It's more so if people are looking to get a new drone and they've never owned a drone, the Mini SE is definitely the one to go for. The charging hub you get with the Mini SE is the same as the Mini 2. It's a great charging hub. The batteries are great. I actually prefer the design, the improved kind of design of the Mini 2 batteries and the Mini SE batteries. The charging hub itself is also a lot nicer. It just kind of matches the theme. It's just got a nice gray design across the board. It's not like the black charging hub for the Mavic Mini and then a gray drone. It's like everything's gray, everything follows that theme, and the improved batteries here are a nice bonus. It's definitely another reason why I'd recommend the Mini SE over the Mavic Mini if you don't have a drone. Moving on to the video and photo quality. These are probably the more important aspects of a drone or a camera. The fact that it can capture nice video and capture nice photos, one of the more important things. And I would say that, you know, the Mavic Mini and the Mini SE don't differ significantly. A few people have commented in my comparison saying that the Mini SE is slightly better than the Mavic Mini. They believe that like the post-processing is better, it's slightly sharper, the image like actually pops, the colors pop a bit more. I'm still a little indifferent to it. It's definitely pretty much the exact same to me. It might be slightly better, like slightly better in the Mini SE compared to the Mavic Mini, but I mean, you can chuck that editing program and create whatever you want anyway. So kind of what it's producing out of the box is pretty much the exact same as the Mavic Mini, but the Mini SE, you know, it does capture amazing video and photos. I'll pop up some photos right now actually. The 12 megapixel photos are great. They're extremely usable, they're great. No one would notice any different. Like when I've shown people photos from the Mini SE, they're like, that's really impressive, that looks great. Like what was that captured on? And I show them the drone and they're like, what? On that tiny little thing? They're blown away. So to the average person, 12 megapixel photos are fantastic, and 2.7K video, which you'll see popping up as well, is great as well. Like 2.7K is phenomenal for most people in the market right now for a drone. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people care about 4K. They think they need 4K. It's this thing that, this anomaly, they have to have it. But it's not really the case for most users. Like when you ask yourself, what am I going to be using this footage for? It's probably just YouTube, social media, sharing with friends and family. Like they don't care that the video is 4K. If it's 2.7K, it's still going to look crispy. It's going to look great. It's going to be something that you can share with people and they're going to go, wow, that's awesome. Footage looks great. They're not going to think, you know, about it too much because they don't really have too much knowledge of what a 4K drone looks like, or a 6K or an 8K or whatever we're going to go up to next. So again, I think the average consumer, especially someone who's buying a budget drone, they're going to be more than happy with 2.7K, and you can see the footage, it looks great. I've got no issues with 2.7K from the Mini SE, and even with the Mavic Mini, like I said, there's no major difference. It looks great on both drones. You still don't get any tracking modes with the Mini SE, nor do you with the Mini 2 or the Mavic Mini, although there are third-party apps now that can actually utilize waypoints and tracking modes for the original Mavic Mini. Apparently it's coming soon to the Mini 2, but that's actually up to DJI, whether they release the SDK and whether developers can then create things within that ecosystem. So the Mavic Mini you can track and you can create waypoints, but you have to pay for like a third-party application, and then you're going to be using something that's not DJI like authorized. It is like backed by DJI, but it's not the official DJI app. It's coming from a third party, and even though it's trusted by DJI and they check over the code and they make sure it's like reliable and stable, you're still not getting that certainty that you would get from using the DJI app and then using a tracking mode like you can in the higher end drones from DJI. But that's kind of besides the point. The Mini SE just doesn't have any tracking modes. It's got very basic modes similar to the Mavic Mini, the stock standard, you know, default drone itself without those third-party apps. It's a very standard to the point drone. It's like I can do a few different quick shot modes, I can take photos and I can capture video. It just does everything you need in a drone. In a basic filming drone, it's pretty much everything you need. You do get a few quick shot modes with the Mini SE. You get Droney, Rocket, Circle, and Helix, and they're great quick shot modes. It's basically everything you need in a selection of quick shot modes. A lot of the time I don't even touch them. I just like to manually fly and capture the shots that I want to capture. But for a lot of beginners that, you know, might not be as confident or can't get that smooth movement just yet, then these modes are great. And the fact that you get them on top of photo and video, it just means it's really the perfect budget drone. It's not overcomplicated. It's not overwhelming when you look through the application. It's very minimal and basic and easy to navigate. But you do get a few special quickshot modes, which is a lot of fun to someone who's just purchased the drone and is excited to try a few different things. It kind of creates that novelty where there's a few exciting things to try out every time you go and fly the drone. The Mini SE does a great job of hovering and holding its space. It also has the vision positioning system underneath here. So it's really, like I keep mentioning, the perfect budget drone. It's everything that most people would need, especially people getting into the drone space for the first time. This is the one. Really, this is the one. There's no comparison. I cannot even recommend anything outside of the Mini SE or the Mavic Mini if you've already got the Mavic Mini. Just great drones, really reliable, consistently give you exactly what you want. And you know, I flew this a couple of days ago, and again, looking through the photos, I'm really impressed with the photos. They look great, they're sharp, they're easy to share online, people are impressed by it every single time, and the videos themselves are fantastic as well. I have no issues with videos. It really is just everything that's kind of marketed on the box. It's just a really solid all-round starter drone. So that's the end of my Mini SE review. I think, honestly, like, if you want to go a little bit further, the Mini 2 is a nice upgrade, getting that 4K camera, getting that improved range. If you've got the extra money, then I think the Mini 2 is the best, like, 4K starter drone or 4K budget drone. The Mini 2 is great. If you really think you need 4K, go for the Mini 2. But if you're going to be happy with what footage you've seen in this video and the other videos I'm sure you've seen as well, if you're happy with the photos and the videos and the quick shot modes, if you're happy with the flight time and the price, then the Mini SE really is kind of everything you need. Like, if I was starting out again and I was going to buy a drone for the first time, it probably would be the Mini SE. I don't even know if I'd go straight to the Mini 2. The Mini SE is great. It really is a fantastic all-round starter drone. So I'd love your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what drone you're going to pick up, and I'll chat to you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.